Let's bring in Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst. He's joining us today via Skype from Paris. Marwan, I'm wondering whether the debate performance and everything we've seen subsequently from Biden is eclipsing the issue of Gaza in Michigan, but I mean, none of it is good news for Biden.
Look, generally speaking, as I wrote on our website, aljazeera.net, back in, .com, back last August, last summer, age is going to be a defining factor in this election. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And a lot of these other important issues, including the economy, apparently, is going to come second. And because the age is already playing such an important role 4 months before the November elections, I think that's really putting a lot of burden on Biden and really undercutting or diminishing his ability to influence events, including in the Middle East, including the question of, for example, of a ceasefire in Gaza and so on.
I want to come back to the ceasefire question in just a moment, Bowen, but just sticking with what's happening in Michigan, because we do expect Biden there in just a few hours. I mean, the governor, Gretchen Whitmer's name has been very high on the list of Biden alternatives. I see she is saying, though, that she won't run. She's sticking by Biden. But she did say very revealingly after that debate that she thinks that he's entirely lost Michigan. Is there, do you think, any coming back for the Democrats and for Biden, especially given feeling on Gaza now, too?
You know, these are incredibly dramatic moments, dramatic times for the question of America and the Middle East and the question of elections. And why do I say incredibly dramatic? You know, we define drama. It's a human choice between two irreconcilable goods or between two evils. For the Arab Americans who think of Middle East and Israel, Palestine, and so on as a driver for their vote, this is a choice between two evils. They think of both Biden and Trump are horrifically bad for the Palestinians, for democracy in the Middle East, for freedom in the Middle East, for justice in Palestine, and so on and so forth. For the pro-Israel voices in the United States, for the pro-occupation voices in the United States. This is a question of two irreconcilable goods for them. Trump is great, and Biden is absolutely great. Whom to choose? For the Palestinians, the difficulty is choosing between bad and worse. For the pro-Israelis in the United States, it's that choose between two irreconcilable goods that are complete opposite, Trump or Biden. We don't know. And it's really difficult to answer for example, Arab Americans in Michigan. Sure. What should they do next? Really, these are personal choices at the end of the day.
So as you say, the perceptions of who might take office are playing into ceasefire efforts as well. I mean, there have been suggestions that Netanyahu is just waiting for a Trump White House, and he's wanting to drag out the war until then. How is the upheaval that we're now seeing, the political upheaval in the US, how's that playing into ceasefire talks?
Well, you know, there's absolutely no doubt that Netanyahu is trying to run the clock on Biden. I am not as sure as he is that Trump is going to be even better than Biden. I don't think in recent American history in the Middle East, there was a more supportive unconditionally of Israel than Biden. The way he supported Israel's genocide the past 9 months, is really unprecedented. So when Trump comes, if he ever comes and becomes president, I am not really sure. He's still hurt by Netanyahu. Remember, he used the F word against Netanyahu. He thought he was betrayed by Netanyahu. And he is, in the end of the day, not a Zionist per se. He's a transactional president who really thinks that many American Jews are betraying him, even though he is more favorable to Israel than the Democrats and so on and so forth. So there is that. Netanyahu is trying to run the clock on Biden because there is diplomatic pressure. But in the end of the day, I think for many Arab Americans, for many progressives and others in the United States, the question is not just about who's worse on the question of Palestine. There's also many other important questions about justice, freedom, and human rights that face the United States and the next president that are just as important for many Americans come November.
Al Jazeera's senior political analyst Marwan Bishara there speaking to us today from Paris. Thank you, Marwan. Always great to get your thoughts.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.